Indiana Jones, It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we declare war on the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm the Admiral Pete Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher St. Florian, patron saint of chimney sweeps, Porter.
And today we are joined by our first-time guest, New Yorker cartoonist and man about town, Joe Dator. Thank you for joining us, Joe.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to come on a podcast and bring with me the very rare white male's perspective.
Yeah, we figured,
Yeah.
why not just,
It's about time.
represent, white males, tall white males, short white males, white males.
Or in my case, the exact right height.
Yeah, the exact right height white males.
Which is
throughout
somewhere.
the whole spectrum.
Somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure.
If I'm not correct, you are in your basement.
I am in my basement, which is because there is no part on top of my basement.
Right.
There's
So we
only,
have
there's only
just-
the basement.
Really stepping outside. White male in his basement.
Mm-hmm. Talking about some nerd
Yeah, I mean,
movie.
I don't know if it counts as a basement if there's nothing above it, but yeah, technically
Yeah,
I'm
it's
in
a
some
basement.
kind of I'm below a street level. When people walk, the very mere fact that they're standing places them physically above me.
Wow. So you're like Lex Luthor
Which-
or something.
May be symbolic. I'm in my
criminal
spacious
lair, or is it
spacious, sumptuous criminal lair
Okay.
deep below Grand Central Terminal.
Not bad.
Using some really well-appointed, unused sections of the terminal.
You'd think somebody at some point would have done something with that stuff.
I mean, really, they're using a lot of real estate down there
Yeah.
underneath Grand Central. You'd think there'd be, at the very least, they might have encountered mole people.
That would have been Superman 5, maybe, if things had
Oh,
gone
right.
differently.
Different. Yeah, that's a different, interesting connection there because there were real mole people living beneath Grand Central Terminal for many years. I think they're still there.
Really?
I mean, where else would they go?
I guess so.
It's not like they're, the mole people. No, they've moved on. They've gone up to, they've bought a place out in the suburbs. No, I'm sure the mole people are still there. Yeah. So, and then Superman fought mole people on TV, didn't he?
Oh, sure. I think Spider-Man did, too.
Yeah.
And I think the Incredibles are about to. Yeah, the mole people are, they're the white males of of evil villains.
Yeah, their rights movement is coming soon.
Yeah.
I mean that
Their time has come.
they're gonna be the villains in everything. They're not but not like that. But then they don't really go to the movies much,
No.
so you don't have to worry.
They like to read by candlelight. Anyway,
So much more evolved.
as you can tell from all this talk about mole people, we're here to discuss minute 61 of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which goes a little something like Donovan reading an order from DeFerber to eliminate the Jones boys, and it ends with Indy accidentally triggering the secret fireplace door for the second time.
Now, this cavalcade of messengers is funny to me because it feels like a gag in a comedy movie. Like one guy, as soon as one guy leaves, the next guy steps up with his message.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that the guy seems awfully high up in the SS to be an errand boy delivering telegrams, unless Donovan is a really important guy. And I think maybe this answers our question about whether he was ideologically connected to the Nazi party or not.
Yeah, he does seem more and more important as we go along, and we see different levels kowtowing to him. Yeah.
There's a sentence or phrase here. Secrecy essential to success.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch my lisp? How's that coming through? Secrecy essential to success. God damn it, I can't say
That weirdly for a while was the slogan for Arby's. That was their. They used to have those commercials. Arby's, secrecy essential for success.
What's in this burger?
Very few people remember though, but I still have a T-shirt. It was on like the side of like the shake cups.
Yeah, don't get rid of it.
Secrecy. Well, what does this mean? What are they talking about? Why does DeFerber even say that or request that? Or I mean,
That sounds like weird telegram shorthand or something.
yeah, but it's like it doesn't. I mean, what would be the big deal if that got out?
Well, they're not technically at war with the United States, so that might be bad if they're targeting American
I'll tell you
citizens.
why, because then the whole world would know that Germany has declared war on the Jones boys.
Exactly.
Look out, Jones boys.
I think you're bearing the lead here, though, Jer.
Yeah.
The Fuhrer, Adolf Hitler, knows who the Jones boys are.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
No,
that's a good point.
that was my note there. So
Yeah, that's a
which
big
I
deal.
which I don't understand. I mean, if Hitler knows who Indiana Jones is, and he knows that Indy is one of only 2 people to survive the Ark of the Covenant's opening on Malta, and Hitler's a nuts on the subject, and he knows that they've captured Indy. I mean, don't you think Hitler would want to talk to him? Or at least like talk to him and then torture him?
He wasn't known for his calm, rational decisions, though.
That's true.
So this might have just been a kind of like Vogel's reaction here when he finds out he gets to kill him. He'd just be giggling.
Yeah. Is it possible that Hitler doesn't actually know who Indiana Jones is?
I don't know if he's personally commanding, like if they say by personal command of the Fuhrer, it seems like he has some idea what's going on. So
Yeah. But I mean, in terms of like, that this is the guy who got the Ark out of our clutches.
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
He kind of must know, right? I mean, Dietrich knew who he was, and
I think he knows,
Yeah.
but he's vaguely knows he's got him mixed up with somebody else. Like in his mind, he thinks he's, he thinks he's Charles Lawton or something like that.
yeah, right, some swashbuckler.
I would love
Yeah.
to see Charles Lawton in an Indiana Jones movie.
He'd fit right in.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Could be a good tote.
Yeah.
This Germany has declared war on the Jones boys. I mean, that's a famous line here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They really just, it was really one guy just saying, "Man, why don't you execute him?" That's rather grandiose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the way he says that because it sounds like an old newsreel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It totally does.
Look out, Jones boys. Germany's coming for you soon. Oh, look, there's
Germany's on the march.
Yes, there's Charlie Chaplin and Errol Flynn. Leave some girls for the rest of us, boys.
You won't have to worry about those Jones boys making time with your ladies.
Well, it's funny because his German accent here is absolutely atrocious. So I'm trying to figure out like who this guy is because he seems to understand German completely, but he doesn't speak it. So he's apparently not a native of Germany. So I'm curious how he ended up in this position.
Well, does he? I mean, he's is he solid as an American with speaking German? I mean, do you actually have to go into a German accent to speak German? As an American, I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, no, if he's like an American and he's speaking German, he wouldn't necessarily have a good German accent.
Well, I guess that's what I'm trying to point out is that he's an American.
Oh, okay.
Like he's not a German.
Can I tell you a story about the time I spoke German in Germany and got into trouble? I was
Of course.
I was touring Berlin, and my friends and I went to the Reichstag, and I got separated from the group, and so I'm walking around the Reichstag by myself, and I don't know which way to get out. And so I knew a word or two. I knew Bitte was please, and I knew Ausgang was exit. So I walked up to a guard, and I said, Bitte Ausgang? And I must have said it right, because he answered me in a paragraph of German. And I just had to smile and nod and say "Danke" and walk away, and have no idea still how to get out. And so I ended up in the wrong elevator. I ended up in somehow by myself in the main assembly hall.
Whoa.
And I thought, and there's a giant eagle on the wall, and I thought, I probably shouldn't be here right at this moment. And it's it's impossible not for someone who does not live in Germany, it's impossible to not feel a little bit frightened. But and this is not to say that the German people were not sweet and wonderful and kind, and I'm sure that guard thought that he had helped me a great deal. But what you don't want to do is know a little bit of a language.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Trouble.
dangerous.
Yeah. So I did eventually find my way out, but I glommed onto a group. I glommed onto another group of people and just sort of moved along with them, and somehow made it
nice.
out. Yeah. And 3 weeks later, I found my friends again and was able to. No, it was 5 minutes later.
You found them
Yeah.
underground in New York City, where you reside today.
That is so close to the truth. Well, that was a less entertaining story than I thought.
I liked it. I like the part about being in Germany.
Oh, that's the other Indiana Jones location I've actually been to. I think those are the three. There's Shanghai, China, Cusco, Peru, and Germany.
You ever been to Connecticut?
Yeah, I have been to Connecticut, in fact. So that
I think
counts.
Indy 4
that
takes
counts.
place
Now,
there.
are we
Yes.
sure
Yes.
Connecticut?
Oh.
Because I've listened to your show. You're trying to figure out
Yeah.
where Indy teaches.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying it's supposed to be Yale. That seems right
That
to me.
has never come up as an option. And it's going to get confusing in the next movie, isn't it?
Well, it's meant. I mean,
it is.
Yale is in
Yeah.
Connecticut, right? So it's supposed to be
Yeah.
a college like Yale. It's
Right.
not called Yale. So because when in this movie, earlier in the movie, when Donovan says, how was your trip down? So down means he had to have been north of New York City.
Very nice. I didn't even think of that.
Also, are we certain that Donovan is in New York City?
See, I'm very glad you mentioned that, because it's like you assume that he is, but it's not a guarantee that he is.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it could be. It could be Chicago, but then that meant the college is in Toronto. That wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense because he drove down. He would have had to drive down through.
Yeah.
See,
the
I
lake.
think he was maybe talking just about like jumping out like from the windowsill. Yeah, he jumped out of his office hours. He's just
From the higher
he's
floor.
just on
He was
the
on a higher
he's on his
floor, yeah.
windowsill and he jumped on the grass. How was your trip down?
Okay.
Yeah,
And he came in through the
yeah. We
window.
say that's basically where he resets and forgets everything. I think that's basically his quote trip down.
Occam's razor.
Okay. Well, that's a possibility. No, I mean most likely it's New York
Sure.
and it's Connecticut. It's definitely sort of East Coast, but it's the Midwest seems like a possibility to me because then they go to Professor Jones Sr.'s house, and I can't imagine Professor Jones Sr. living on the East Coast. He's going to live in the heartland. He's going to live in the kind of place where your nickname is Indiana.
Sure.
Well, he started off there in Utah, but then,
Might very well be Indiana. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess you're right. I'm not sure.
You know what's really funny? And I don't know if I've said this on the air. We've got this, back and forth about where's Marshall College? Is it in California? Is it in Connecticut? Is it in New York?
I've heard. I've been listening to the
I know.
debate.
And I just it actually like without a joke actually makes me angry. I actually get angry when we have this conversation.
you do get angry.
Because I know
you do a dance
Yeah,
of anger.
pirouette.
I do a
Rage.
pirouette of anger,
Yeah.
and I'm not that good of a dancer, which even frustrates me more. Like I can't even get my anger out.
So yeah, the car drives off here, and then we're back in the castle room with Henry and Junior tied up. And I like that Henry tends to be remarkably nonchalant in the face of danger. And I'm wondering, is he just because he's absent-minded? Is he thinking about something other than the danger, or is he just icy cool under pressure? And that's kind of where Indy got it.
His cool seems a little bit. Not totally, but it's just a little bit befuddled. Like he doesn't quite take in everything that's happening or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like Indy guns down a bunch of Nazis, and he's like, "I can't believe what you did." Like he's present, and he knows what's going on, but he's also a little bit like, "Oh, the room's on fire, son of a gun." Like he's just kind of.
I don't think clearly he never saw his son murder anybody before.
That we
And
know.
that's got to be a difficult thing for a parent to witness.
Right.
I don't know if any of you have children, but if you can imagine.
Yeah. How to talk to your kids about their first
I
murder.
figured clearly he
Yeah.
never had, he's never seen his son before. Just that.
Maybe,
yeah.
That's a
it's
possibility. He hasn't seen him in a while.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, he doesn't even look at him back in 1912 in Utah.
Right.
Well, they have this weird. They have a weird father-son relationship going on there because they're so competitive with each other, and and Indiana Jones is so ready to call up any weakness his father has.
Yeah.
My dad. Are you kidding? He's afraid of rats. Ha! He just
loser.
he's ready to just
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I like because we get this what, dad, what? Like he keeps saying dad and they keep turning around saying what. And I like that the first time you really hear Henry Sr. ruffled is when his son keeps saying what. Or his
why are
son
you
keeps saying
talking to me?
dad. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, his son's the one that can actually get him going.
I'm looking at my note right here. It just says, "Why am I an enemy of whimsy?" because I hate the dad thing.
Because it's
There's so many little moments in this movie like this that do not flow at all. They just are little nuggets of like business in the middle of something else, and they don't really make sense. Like I like.
Are you're talking about the guy in Venice with the stamp in the library?
Oh boy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Yes, I am talking about that guy.
Wow.
Yes.
Am I the only one other than Tierney who likes that?
There's
It's
probably
a
like
gag
five
that
others.
doesn't. It's a gag that doesn't. It doesn't hold up well over
No, it's
repeated
from another
viewings.
movie.
Yeah.
No, it's we talk. It's a Tom Taylor card. If you're gonna make a movie, even if it's gonna be a funny movie, take it seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, like this is not a serious moment at all. It's not seriously funny. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. Like if Indiana Jones is tied up, back to back with his dad, and he yells "Dad," and his dad will say "What?" and Indiana Jones will start talking to him. He'll tell him what he needs to say. They don't need to be like facing the same way or whatever, or catch each other's eye or whatever. It's just it's silly. It's dumb.
Is it slapsticky? Do you not like slapstick kind of
I'm fine with slapstick.
He doesn't like fun.
He doesn't
It's
like
fun.
fun.
Oh yeah, if it's fun, forget it.
This is a fun scene. This is again.
It is.
You,
It
you
could
mentioned
be
that
fun.
in minute 3 in a joking manner, but I'm beginning to suspect that maybe there was some truth behind it.
Possibly. We'll have to. We need a Tom Taylor watch.
You
to see if there's any
know
fun
what's
in this
tough
movie.
is I split the middle on this one. If I'm watching The Last Crusade with my good friend Pete Mummert, I would laugh here. And I go, that's goofy. Pete loves this. And if I'm watching this movie with my good friend Tom Taylor, I go, this movie really isn't as good as Raiders. It's just kind of stupid. They don't really they're not taking this like it's a dumb gag. It's a lot of whoop 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 whoop. Say,
Yeah.
So your reaction to the movie changes based on who's on the couch next to you.
I mean,
Yeah.
I understand. I have to say, I lean more on the Tom Taylor side of this. I understand why Pete likes. I understand the movie's fun. The movie's fun, and that we set that's the tone of it. And it's also what I take issue with. Not the fact that it's fun, but it's whimsy, it's frivolous, it's lighthearted goofery.
But see, I have to take issue with you repeatedly saying that Spielberg didn't take this seriously. I think he took it very seriously. I think this is just his kind of whimsical humor in here because this was his favorite of the Indiana Jones movies that he made.
Well, shame on him. Come on, shame on him. He made one of the best movies ever made. Like not even like out of the series or anything. He made one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah. No,
and it's not this one. I love that.
I hear that. I hear that's a good one. I hear that's a good one.
It's real. Oh, you should check it out. It's awesome.
Do you guys do rank the series on this show?
A little bit.
Not as often as we should.
Yeah.
Well, please, if you want to right now while we're thinking of it, because we're very bad podcasters and we're not going to remember to do it at the end of the episode, so you should do it now if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do it another time. I'll do it on another show. Actually, I'm going to go on the...
Yeah, but at least you're taking it seriously. You didn't pull out a frying pan and smack us in the face with it.
Which happened in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That was a light little moment in an otherwise exciting, well-crafted
I
scene.
hate you, Pete Mummert. It did happen in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I'm going to rank the Indiana Jones films in order of preference when I go on Godfather Minute.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. What I'd like to know is I want the ranking. I want Gerry's ranking of people he knows and what his reactions to movies will be if he's watching with them.
I'll hit that right now. I am surprised, being in our third season, the third installment of indie movies, I am surprised that there's so much whimsy in Pete Mummert's life. Or at least in your appreciation for whimsy is a lot higher than I ever thought it would be in the 25 years I've known you.
Well, maybe because there's not a lot of whimsy in my life.
That's right. Yeah, there's not. That's true. You're
starved for
like
whimsy.
yeah, you're starved for whimsy. That's right. You are. You're like a dude who you like it when it's overcast. You're all Johnny Mr. Film Noir, and you don't. It's not like you drink a lighthearted beer or spirits or beverage. You're not drinking Bartles and James or something like a Mike's Hard Lemonade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't vacation in Cancun. Where'd you go, Belarus? Did you just go to Belarus or
Leave him alone.
So that's your list of things that make a happy life.
He's like
Bartles and
Johnny
James.
Dark Pants, and he's I mean, I won't, and he loves, he did this, Mr. Ed. Or something
I'm liking the dad thing more and more now. I just want Pete to have his whimsy.
All right,
Leave him
all right.
alone and let him have his
I have a
whimsy.
tendency to. I'm a little closer to Tommy. If you said I'm a little closer to Tommy and his views on movies in general. Like I'm not surprised by anything he said by our third installment. It all makes sense for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
Pretty
it.
obvious.
It's just a surprise.
Now, there's an iconic shot of Indy and his dad tied to the chairs, and the flames are going on behind them. That's beautiful,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah, it's a
It
great
is.
Great.
shot.
It's great, and
This is a good scene in a good
Yeah.
situation.
and it reminds me, this is when Spielberg started to become master of the set piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is where you if you watch this movie, it's divided into like a series of chunks of great set pieces. You have the thing with the rats, and then you have the boat with the propeller, and he's just so good at building a sequence around a piece of set or a prop or a location or a thing like that, and nobody does it better. Nobody. And this movie is so good. I love this movie. I think it's Steven Spielberg at the height of his just craftsmanship ability, and I bet he did this movie half blindfolded. He was probably working on 2 other movies. He was probably doing 3 other things and was like spending 4 hours a day on this one, and it still came out this good. I'll bet you.
Well, now wait a minute.
Because he's that good. He could do it. He could do it in his sleep.
Without showing all your cards. So you love this movie. Do you love it more than Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Well, no.
Okay. Because the other 2 cards I don't need to see.
But I do have of all the 5 Indiana Jones films, I would say Raiders is the best, and this was the second best. No, Raiders is the second best. This is the third best. Then there's Temple of Doom, and finally would be Crystal Skull. And my first choice would be the first one.
Which would be Empire Strikes Back.
No. You guys don't know about...
Secret
Wait a
of the
minute.
Incas?
You guys don't know about the first one?
I'm on pins and needles.
Did you not know?
Indiana Jones
From
and the-
1979? You never saw the first Indiana Jones film? I can't believe
John
this.
Brugan
How can you
lied
not
to
know
us.
about this.
We have to do this a whole other year. More than
I
we
was
thought
what I
we were
wanted.
going
I
to.
meant to ask you guys, why are you doing the films out of sequence? Because you did Raiders first. Raiders was the second one.
It was the first one I saw as a
Yeah.
kid.
No, the first one came out in 1979, and I think it's the best of the bunch. And we can talk about that if you like. But
Well, next season, or 3 seasons from now, when we finally circle
All
around
right,
to it.
it's we'll get around to that. But yeah, that I'm shocked that you completely missed one of the Indiana Jones films.
What are you watching it with the mole people?
It doesn't make any sense.
What is it? I gotta wait for Godfather Minute.
We can bring. You know what? I'll bring it. We can talk about it later in the week. I do want to mention that I think the giant fireplace that they sort of bounce their chairs into, is a fireplace that can fit human beings in it. I'm gonna say Citizen Kane reference.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that. Nice.
Maybe.
Interesting.
You don't see a fireplace like this often outside of Citizen Kane.
No, it's shot from the same angle too.
Yeah, that's true. Would you see it? Wouldn't you see fireplaces this big in castles and other large, ostentatious structures?
I've got
I don't
one.
know.
You've got
There you
one.
go.
See?
In my
You're underground.
extremely ostentatious basement in Queens.
Oh, it makes sense. This is why at the beginning of the movie, Indy whispers, "Roscoe."
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Roscoe.
And then he drops the cross of Coronado and it shatters.
This whole movie is a remake of Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It's interesting that he had for the third time in this movie, Indy's salvation comes at the hands of a snake.
Oh yeah, yeah. I love that.
Oh my God.
It's interesting.
Second 38. We have a snake and we have an andiron, right? It's a snake andiron.
Yeah.
And because I'm Johnny, run out and do it. I actually checked with John Brugan about what type of snake this is.
Oh.
Nice.
And he said, quote, "It has a sunken eye and a shriveled neck. It would have been a dehydrated snake, which I don't really understand, a dehydrated snake, but probably
It's like a sun-dried tomato.
yeah, yes.
Yeah.
He says it's probably an elapid like a mamba.
Oh.
Yeah, so it might be a mamba, but definitely a dehydrated snake. So, and I don't know if you guys know anything. Do you guys, maybe you know this, Joe, do you guys know what an andiron is or what it's used for? Because I've always wondered, and I never knew what those fireplace accoutrements were for, especially this one.
Yeah, no, I'm an urban person, so I've never stoked a fire or anything like that. I've never had a moment where I had to build a fire for myself.
Yeah.
I'm an urban person with a fireplace. It's the thing that the wood sits on.
Is that it? I was going to say, is it the thing the wood sits on, or is it the thing that you
No,
poke the
no,
wood with?
That's a
I don't know
poker.
what that thing's called. But the
That's
andiron-
that's
yeah,
actually a
poker,
poker,
yes, yeah.
Tommy. That's it. No, you're absolutely right. It's the thing that the wood sits on. But what I don't understand is, in my life, they're always outside of the fireplace. Like an andiron, the andiron, they're like ornamental. They're
Yeah.
ornamental. I'm not talking about the grating inside the fireplace that you'd put the logs on.
Oh, you're talking about like the screen outside the
No, I know
fireplace
you're
or
talking
something?
about the little sort of decorative,
The decorative,
sort of metal
yeah,
thing.
but
There's
two
of them.
There's
There's
two
one on
of them
either side of the
one on
fireplace.
either
Right,
side, and they're decorative.
Oh.
But if you actually look it up, they say no.
Ornate.
Yes, you're supposed to put the logs. I guess you put them in the fireplace and then put your logs on top of them.
No. Wait. I'm guessing at this because
No,
I'm
I'm
guessing at this
confused.
because as I mentioned, I grew up in apartment buildings. I've never had a fireplace, but I've seen a lot of movies with people with fireplaces. I think that's where you put your spare logs before you throw them in the fire.
Oh, yeah, that was like a log basket you get from LL Bean or whatever.
Log holder. What's the thing that holds your logs? That's called a log holder. Okay, listen, I didn't grow up around this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know the jargon.
Well, that's what this. There's a snake andiron, and I just one more little note about it. The ancient Greeks used them, and they're actually they've been in use. Even 4,000 years ago, the ancient Greeks they found some when they did an excavation on the island of Santorini.
Oh, wow. Do you know what they're also called?
Yes, fire dogs.
Yeah, I like that.
I went into the basement of the rabbit hole.
Well, that leaves no nickname for fire dogs, though. Well, they call fire dogs log holders. They've got to switch all the nicknames
Yeah,
around.
if the log holder's a log holder, yeah, I'm picturing throwing dogs into the fireplace.
No.
And I don't want to do that. That's awful.
No, I meant like a fire dog, like an adorable Dalmatian.
Yeah.
Like an adorable
Fire dog.
Yeah,
Dalmatian with a
exactly.
cute little hat on. That's a fire dog.
But is that like kindling, or is it like the main thing on top of the log? I don't know. I feel bad for the dogs. I don't want any.
Okay, wait a minute. Are you confused, Tommy?
No, I'm feigning confusion. It's charming.
Oh, okay.
That was the world's worst mobster, Confused Tommy, by the way.
Do we think that this, this is at least half fake fireplace? It's a secret door to this other room. Do we think that you could actually have a fire, an actual fire in this fireplace, or would everybody on the
That's a
other
very
side
good
of the thing
question.
get smoked out or something?
No, I don't think. I mean, you'd ruin the the mechanism, right?
I don't think it'd ruin the mechanism.
No, I think you could totally build a fire in there because the whole room is on fire and the people on the other side barely notice.
Well, that's true. Yeah. You'd think at some point, though, it would start to seep through the cracks on the sides.
They're completely oblivious. They're
Yeah.
completely oblivious to the fire.
I guess that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not like very well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. The thing opens, they don't even notice. Oh,
Yeah.
A lot of them have
and that lady's
headphones
yelling
on.
kind of loudly.
Probably too loud, hurting their hearing.
Well, so look, is minute 61 the most?
No.
Oh, I
No,
just
no,
wrote
no,
down
no.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
In my notes.
Oh,
yeah.
it's not minute of. I was gonna say of
No,
the movie.
minute 63.
So far. Oh,
We'll get there. I have Scooby-Doo written for minute 63. Yeah.
I have it. I have to look. All right. So it's not. But we do get it. We get a Scooby Doo
Yeah.
bell. Okay. Like hey. We got a rotating fireplace.
It's pretty Scooby-Doo, although it's not the only Scooby-Doo-y thing about this castle. At least they're consistent in presenting this as a completely implausible castle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we just have to
Yeah.
take it on faith
Yeah.
that somebody built this castle probably as some sort of amusement park ride. That's all I can gather. It was a fun house or something. It was like a crazy house. Come to the castle crazy house and have fun.
Well, what would be what's the advantage of having a secret passage fireplace? Is it like a quick Santa type of thing?
I'm wondering if the
Gerry.
Nazis built this so they could have a secret place to do their secret work in there, or if this was in the castle already, like whoever built the castle built it.
Oh yeah, I think that stuff goes back to the originator of the castle. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, the real answer to the question
Yeah.
is it's the Galaxy Quest question. Like why would you put a bunch of stamping things in the middle? Because
Yeah.
it's a video game.
Gives you something to
basically.
do in the
Yeah.
movie.
Gives you something to do in
It's
the
the hardest
movie.
part of the video game.
Yeah, but I think when you see the movie, you don't really think too hard about it because it's a wild romp. And once again, I thank Mr. Spielberg for being able to sell the most ridiculous, stupid stuff and make it fun.
They do. I mean, we pick on all these things, but they do just breeze by when you're just watching
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's great. This is a damn good movie. That's why it's my third favorite.
Well, I've got something that breezed by me that seemed a little weird. Because I often, before we record a minute, I'll read the relevant section of the script that corresponds to it. And I was looking through the script and I see Indy whoops. And I thought, that seems so weird. I had to actually go back and watch it to see that he really does say whoops. And it's
Does
just
he?
weird. It seems like something that's hard for me to imagine Indy saying.
Wait, he says
When?
whoops.
Whoops. Yeah, when he kicks the snake and the thing starts to go around, he goes whoops.
Oh, wow.
He wouldn't say whoops.
That's what I thought, but he does.
It's a little weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little weird. He says whoops.
Yeah, it's just a funny.
Does he do it 3 times in a row? Like whoops, whoop, whoops,
Whoop, whoop,
whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop, whoop.
He's just toying with us now.
It's kind of that would be felicitous for the minute, right?
Well, it would work because there's a reference to the Marx Brothers, so maybe there's a
Yeah.
reference to the Three
Exactly.
Stooges as
Yeah.
well.
That's true.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the big conflict between Indy and his dad.
Yeah.
Marx Brothers, Stooges, come on.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? They're funnier. The Marx Brothers are
Yeah.
smart. The Stooges are stupid. They're not funny. It's just a bunch of slapstick. little slapstick goes a long way, Dad, and you should know that because look what we're doing right now.
I learned it from you, Dad.
I learned it from you. I learned slapstick from you and your stooges.
This should make everyone a little bit happy. I mean, or, just feel better for me or something, that maybe I'll be okay.
Whenever you say something like that, nobody is happy but you. Tom.
I know. But no, maybe it's all right.
I've found a ray of sunshine here.
This is a sign that maybe I could just sit back and enjoy myself instead of complaining about everything. Henry's line, after they do their full circuit and they come back into the fire room, and he says, our situation is not improved. And I'm like, my initial reaction is to be like, shut up. That's just like, we don't need that. We don't need that. Yes, you're in a tight spot. You got Nazis on one side and fire on the other. We get it. But I'm also going to let it go, even though I just complained about it. So maybe I'm not letting it go. I'm hopeless. I'm sorry.
I do have to point out, Henry is remarkably sanguine during high-stress incidents.
Yeah.
Other than when his son gets him going, it's amazing how calm he is.
It's because they're really they're butting heads. They're at odds with each other. They're always at loggerheads. There's a competition between them because they're really very much alike.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's really well done, the way you meet these two guys, or you already know this one guy, and then you meet his father, and they have a lot in common. And they have a lot of things in common that the more you think about it, you realize, oh, they have even more in common than I realized. So that clearly is one of them.
Well, speaking of sanguine, Pete, I'm just going to go out and say, look, I like these minutes, and I'm also happy that Tommy is complaining.
We all are, I think.
I just
that makes us
because
all happy.
I just have, it's like I 100% agree with you, Tommy, and I enjoy the minutes.
Yeah. I mean, I do too. I enjoy these. I sincerely believe this is a fun scene. It's well done. It's exciting. It's just fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a line like our situation. It's this is the castle from hell or something. It's like, stop it. You don't always have to say stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't have to say stuff. You're in an action movie. Just let your actions speak.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. Speaking of actions and action speaking,
Yeah.
whoa, there's something coming through the wire.
Whoa, my
coming
Lord.
over. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Oh, interesting. What alternative career could Indy's dad have where he would deadpan, quote, our situation is not improved? Interesting.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like, no, wait. Is she? What
other career? Because
profession could he
what
have?
Other professor? Where else could you see him? Where he could deadpan that?
Oh.
Our situation is not improved.
He could be a plumber. He could be a. I mean, anything. I guess he could be a contractor. He could be a policeman.
I'm just trying to imagine the situation not improving for a plumber.
Yeah.
That sounds really upsetting.
Still backed up. My arms are getting tired. I've been plunging for
I'm also going to take this minute to just just say beep 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 beep. Secrecy essential to success. Because we actually have a telegram, right? The movie's got a real life Professor Christy Porter.
Yeah. I don't know if she'd like to be compared to the real life Christy Porter in the movie, but
probably not. She does have that sort of maniacal laugh that the guy does. He's like, Germany's declared war on the Jobs boys, and the Nazi goes,
You got it, boss.
Have you guys talked much about that actor who plays the SS commander in there?
Not much. Just Pete doesn't like his German accent.
Okay,
that seems to be a theme for me.
I looked him up. It's Michael Byrne, who I think is British, and he plays a guy named Vogel, and he, not surprisingly, this was not his only time playing a Nazi. He played a lot of Nazis in his career because he just had that look.
Yeah.
It's great casting.
A lot of British dudes played a lot of Nazis.
Yeah.
But
it's great casting in this movie. It's one of the things that's great about this movie. It's so
Absolutely.
comic bookish. It's so cartoonish. All the character roles are straight out of central casting, so to speak. They're chosen for their look, and that guy looks more like a Nazi than many Nazis did. He really does. It's amazing, and he sort of made a career out of
movie Nazi,
out of it. And that sort of like in the prologue with young Indy, that sort of pudgy Eagle Scout sidekick he has. I saw that exact guy in a comic book at some point. I don't know where they find somebody who looks so perfect for that role of a 1920s pudgy Eagle Scout boy.
Yeah. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all we have for minute 61, Joe, where can people find you online and find your works?
Well, they can find my cartoons in the New Yorker magazine on a somewhat regular basis. I had a piece in the recent Esquire magazine, although that was a month ago, so you probably won't find that. I don't know. Google my name. You'll find stuff. I'm on social media. I got the social media. I got the thing. You'll find me on the New Yorker website. Many places.
Great.
Yes. And he's worth finding, everybody.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can find us where? Online. You can find us on Facebook. Our group over there is Indiana Jones Minute and the Listener's Crusade, where you can hang out with us and everybody else who listens to the show and share your witty insights and thoughtful thoughts. And no, it's an excellent place to connect with the show, and we like hearing from all of you, so it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And please come back here tomorrow, where we will discuss minute 62 of Last Crusade here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Oh, look, there's Mae West stepping out at the Copacabana.
Stay away from those Jones boys. Hitler's got him in his sights.
Don't Google my name.
Oh, yeah.